Hey everyone, with the 8th anniversary coming up, I wanted to discuss some servants that I would love to see buffs to, as, you know, of course, every anniversary we get a bunch of buffs. This video, I will try to cover one servant from every class, and it will be kind of a balance of characters that I like, but also characters that need it, you know, so I'm not going to be saying, hey, Summer Kama needs a buff or something, you know, because I think she's pretty fine, and, you know, but obviously I don't know, like, the worst character from every class, just because I don't really know how you would determine that necessarily. So, yeah, that's going to be the video. First up, of course, is Gawain. For Sabers, Gawain is the boy, and I really like him. But he definitely needs a buff. I think the third skill is particularly weak. Only charging 20%. On a 6-turn cooldown, only giving 10 stars, and also the guts being, like, so irrelevant just because it's one time, one turn is really weak. I honestly would love to just see this skill, everything get buffed here. So, like, NP charge 30%, 20 crit stars, and maybe, like, 2 times 3 turns guts or something. That's what I'd love to see here. Or, which they don't do this normally, so I don't think this would be it, and this would be kind of boring. Maybe just reduce the cooldown to, like, something crazy, like 3, you know, 2, 4, 3. But yeah, that's what I'd love to see from Gawain, the boy. Second, archers. I think Orion needs a buff. She, of course, is pretty strong. She has a nice niche of, you know, male counter, you know. But her second skill is just... It really feels old, right? You know, it's like one line of text, and that's it, and it lasts for 1 turn. I don't know what this would be. I think it's very simple. This is very simple, but maybe just throw on arts up for 3 turns, you know, or something like that. Maybe even like some sort of crazy unique thing where it's like every time she hits a male enemy, like, get some arts buff or something, you know, that'd be interesting, that stacks, you know, maybe something like, hey, for 4 turns, every time you hit a male enemy, you get a 10% arts up or something. Maybe that would stack really high. Maybe that would be a little too broken, but it's something like that, you know, I think would be cool. Who knows, maybe she'll get a summer version this year, like I kind of predicted earlier, but yeah, that's what I'd love to see for Orion. Next, kind of one of the reason I wanted to make this video, Bradamante, man, holy crap, she needs some love. You know, she's really bad. She's one of the characters of all time. And so for me, I tried to think of what they could do, because I don't really want them to just turn her into another, you know, farmer like Bradamante or whatever, you know, like it'd be cool if she could separate herself from Bradamante or just other, you know, loopers. If they wanted to just make her a looper and just throw on something, I would say what I would do is go, hey, this skill gives 30% MP battery, so that would be a total of 50%, and then also on the first skill, give us a NP gen up for 3 turns. That's a nice, you know, amount. I think that'd be sick. I think they could also buff her NP, maybe make the stun chance a little higher. Of course, you don't really want to create a character that could possibly, like, stun lock things or something, you know, but something like that would be interesting. I think we're looking at, like, a first skill buff. If they want to try to make her unique, I think her second skill is interesting to look at. Maybe buff the guts to maybe be a couple times for, I don't know, maybe 5 turns if it's a 6-turn cooldown. Maybe even throw on, like, a hey, damage reduction thing so she can become kind of like a tanky type character, you know. I think that would be sick, but yeah, they're probably going to go with a battery and call it a day. I think she will get a buff, though, unless she is a summer character, which would be awesome. Next is Mandricardo. With Mandricardo, the boy, he is one of the GOATs. I would love to see maybe a buff on his first skill, as I feel like it is pretty weak compared to a lot of his other stuff. I think he's a pretty interesting character and has a very interesting kit, so it might be tough buff him, but his first skill, I was thinking it'd be interesting to put a battery on him, you know, but being able to get to his NP like before he dies would be interesting. So maybe on his first skill put like a battery or something. On his second skill it'd be interesting to put like 100% battery, so when you get to below 100 or 50% HP, you click your second skill, you just go ham, you know, and he taps out, you know. That's what I would like to see. I think his MP is actually pretty good. I don't think he really needs a buff to the MP, but I think he needs a buff somewhere. He could also maybe have a buff where an on-death effect, you know, maybe like an on-death buff the party in some way, you know, maybe drop some crit stars or some NP or something, you know. But yeah, Mandricardo is awesome. Next is another very awesome character, Summer Nero. I think she's actually kind of good, you know, like she's not bad. She just has like kind of low attack. What are we working with? 10k, that's like kind of low. Also she's a caster. But she has all she needs to be like a buster looper, you know. She has the 50% charge. I would love to see a buff just to the NP. Like, just say, hey, I don't know, bust her up for 3 turns or something. You know, maybe like make it a scaling type thing. She already has a lot of the stuff she needs, and I would really love her to be buffed. Maybe this this gut skill could be buffed. It's interesting that you can cast it on other people. I like that. Boudica has a similar one, you know. Maybe make it 1 for 5 turns, you know. Increase their attack. Maybe, I don't know. I keep giving people NP chart. I'm like the actual design team, you know. But yeah, interesting character. I think what we're looking at is a NP buff would be really nice to increase her damage. Maybe give Buster up, and she could really start to compete with maybe some AoE Buster characters. Obviously, would never reach the upper echelons, but would be cool to use her more often. Next, for assassins, just Summer Okita, just don't stun herself. That's all we need. Just do not stun herself on MP. That's all we need. This character just makes me so sad, because, like, her design is awesome. Every one of her ascensions is so cool. I mean, look at it, you know. She's on a freaking jetpack, bro. She's on a jetpack. But then she, like, stuns her. You should stun yourself now. You know, that's kind of the joke I do, you know. Please don't stun herself. That's all she needs. She actually doesn't really need anything else. Just, if the stun yourself got removed, she would be awesome. Yeah, so that's Okita. Berserkers, I have 2 actually. Raikou. Raikou is really tough. I don't have her, so I can't really speak like how they should buff her, but she definitely is aged. I would say not the greatest for AoE Buster Berserkers, you know. But I think this is kind of one of those things where they could just be really boring and throw a battery on her. Or they could get really, you know, interesting and unique and maybe do a unique buff. I would guess to this skill is just really just 1 turn, 1 of it, you know, it's just not very good. I don't know, maybe throw the Buster up to 3 turns, maybe do an interesting, I don't know. I like the idea of, like, hitting your niche several times, you know? So, like, you know, every time you hit a demonic enemy or whatever, you know, a demonic enemy, you know, get 10% stacking Buster up or something. Like, that'd be interesting, you know? I will say, I don't know if they would buff her, though, just because, I feel like she could get a new version here soon, maybe. You know, she's a pretty popular character. She could still use the Saber version, you know? So, yeah, we'll see about Raikou. Second Berserker, this is more just like, not serious, you know? Another thing is, I don't expect him to buff this many, Summer Servants, you know? I think Nobunaga is actually a pretty good character. Summer Nobunaga is actually a pretty good character. The only thing is, I do think her second skill has started to age really badly. I would love for this to come down to, like, if you could get the cooldown for me down, you know, that would be sick. I'd almost, you know what would actually be really cool? Oh yeah, her NP's already buffed, but it'd be cool if she had like a buff like, who is it, Ozzy? Where every time she NPs, she reduces her cooldown on her skills. Because, like, this feels like something that would be cool if you could get to stack it, you know? Maybe even do something like, on your buster cards, on her buster cards, every time she busters, she reduces the skill cooldown, you know? A lot of these buffs sound really broken, don't they? Let me know if I'm making the game too crazy, you know? But some sort of buff would be sick for her, because I think she started to age. I think she is and was a good character. But she is, I think, starting to age a little bit. So next, extra characters, I don't have one for every class. But we'll talk about a couple of them that I would love to see buffed. Jeanne Alter. The only reason I say this is because I'd love them to combine. I've talked about this on stream a couple times. Combine an animation update, which they don't do anymore, with a buff for her. And I just feel like if they do that, they'd make a lot of money, because she's still a popular character. They drop an animation update, they drop a buff, they drop a banner. You know, that'd make a lot of money and be worth it to do an animation update. Honestly, I feel like she's a really good character. I don't know what a buff to her would be, you know, but you know, that just kind of an extra, you know, thing. One character I do want them to buff, which would be awesome, is Summer BB. Summer BB is one of my favorite characters in the game. I just don't really use her that often anymore. I don't even know really what you would buff. When did she get this buff? Was this recent? Sorry, 1 second. Actually, this was pretty recent, so maybe she won't get a buff. But we're living in a fantasy land right now, so it doesn't matter. I would love them to buff her NP. Doing NP damage and maybe an extra unique type of effect would be really cool. I don't really know what this would be, though. Maybe, like, sealing skills, sealing NP, something like that. 'Cause she already drains, you know? Maybe make her have, like, a more kind of utility in that aspect as well. Because she doesn't need to just be a looper, you know, buster looper. All her skills are pretty good at this point now, though, you know, so... that's what I would say for that, is an NP buff. Get her damage up a little bit, too, on her NP. And, yeah, I think we're grooving. Next... Oh, we'll save her for last. So, next one is Abigail. She's just bad, man. I mean, they could do anything on any of her skills and she'd be better. She's just a really bad character. My Abigail fans, how should they buff her? How do you want them to buff her, you know? Anything. She would take anything at this point, it feels like. She's just not good, you know. Final character is Bazett. Bazett, I think, just came out, so... Not just came out, but like, what, a year and a half? But I have a really interesting buff for her that might make her a little broken, you know? So let me know what you guys think about this, but... I think her main problem is she doesn't have enough survivability. So it'd be sick if her NP gave her, on overcharge effect, a one-hit evade that would scale with the overcharge. So if you get to overcharge 3, you get 3-hit evade. Is that broken? Would be really good and strong. But I just think her problem is she has, like, one good turn, and then she just dies too fast, you know? But that's what I would love to see on her. She's such an interesting, unique character. I think she's one of the coolest design, gameplay-wise, characters in the game. And I'd love for her to just get, like, one more little push, and she'd be really good. Also, if they ever buffed Bond CEs, her Bond CE is one of the better ones. Increase own MP damage by 30%, and she gives herself gut status for one time, and it revives at 20% health. Really nice, really nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Like, if any of you guys, if you think any of these are likely and who you would want to see. Obviously, I didn't show much lower rarity character servants that we'll obviously be getting. But if I was to put money on a character that was definitely going to get buffed, I'd say Bradamante, just because she is pretty bad. You know, she's pretty bad. She's never gotten a buff, which is surprising. It's crazy she's never gotten a buff, and she is, what, 5 years old? So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. We're coming up on the anniversary. We're kind of on our anniversary week, you know. And, yeah, so stay tuned for more videos. And if you want to check anything else out, check my channel. Drop a like and subscribe. That would be sick. I'd really appreciate that. And, yeah, hope you guys have a great day. Let me know who you want to be buffed. And let me know if I made any of these characters too powerful. Alright, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.